Again. Okay, I'm Joel Johnson. I'm here with Gil Losi Jr. from AKA Products, and we're here to talk about the Scribbles project. So Gil, when you start a project like the Scribbles, especially when it's in a segment you haven't been in a while, where do you start?
Start by spending a lot of hours at the track, running all of our tires and everybody else's, and get a feel for what the category's doing.
So when you go to the track, are you relying on some driver feedback as well, I assume?
Yeah, with this project, it's been a long time since I did any indoor clay tire design, so I spent a lot of time with our whole team, talked to a lot of them, got as much context of track conditions, compounds, tread designs, kind of the history of our line, did a little bit of research on what the other companies had done and where their development came from, both on compound and tire design, and had a list of questions that was pages long. So then I go spend some time at the track, first getting myself up to speed, and then going through all these questions. And once I formed opinions, I went out and tested all those things on some of our existing local team guys' cars. Some things worked, many things didn't. So obviously my thought process and questions needed to be revised. And you just go through that cycle until kind of the context and all the feedback and what I'm seeing all sort of tell a similar story.
Right, and then so how much do you rely on the pros' feedback, or what type of feedback do they give you versus our regional experts and the guys that are hardcore club racing?
Well, the pros, for me first, they were the most instrumental in teaching me how to use the tires.
Okay.
How to use sauce, how long to do it, how long not to do it.
Right.
Those types of things. And they're really good at what things feel like. The local guys have a lot more experience at a lot of different local tracks and help give me context that help me understand what the pros were telling me. Because they can tell me, feel in an exact situation, but they're not out working on all the different conditions. They run in a very kind of controlled environment and very specific conditions.
Right. Okay. Now, when you look at the Scribble, it's certainly a unique tread pattern compared to what's on the market. What were the design goals for the Scribble, and how did you end up with that type of pattern?
Well, like I said, I built a storyline, and I kept finding that anytime we could run slicks, our compound had the most grip. So it kind of asked the question of what's going on with our slicks that isn't going on with our treaded tires.
Right.
And researching that with the stability, the kind of ours tends to be a pretty soft compound, makes a lot of grip, doesn't have so much control. So the Scribble tread pattern came along trying to build as much control into a rib tire to make it feel like a slick, but go through the dust.
Okay. All right. Now, when you look at the Scribble versus what we have now for our 10 scale lineup, where do you see it fitting? Do you see any crossover, or how do you see it going forward?
Well, it's a much denser tire than what we currently sell. So obviously there's going to be at some point where it gets too loose, too loamy to use it compared to a cross link or a chain link. But I see it kind of replacing those as the go-to tire anytime there's an established groove in a clay track.
Right. So in a way, this is kind of like a foundation of a revamp of our 10 scale line. Do you see it? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right.
Especially in the clay side of things.
In the clay, okay. And then when you look at this tread pattern, do you see it working in other scales? Do you see it making its way into our 8 scale and short course, etc.?
Yeah, I think that the softer clay compounds need tread patterns like this that are very stable. You've seen the other companies do similar kinds of things. So yeah, as 8 scale goes, the Nationals this year, I would really love to have this tire there.
Have that type of tire, yeah, because a lot of the newer, these regional big races, especially for 8 scale, are in these horse arenas and things, so the indoor style tire seems to be more
well, anytime
prevalent.
you get a polished blue groove surface and and it stays cool enough, you really do see the clay compounds being really effective.
Yeah, so all right, great. Well, hey, that's what we have for today for you guys, and we'll follow up with this in a few weeks as we get closer to the release. But thanks again for tuning in, and thanks, Gil, for your time.